the Enforcer.
I believe they're called enforcers, Gordon. I sell women's shoes.
And the Stallion.
Stallion, baby! I am not what you would call a handsome man.
I'll kick you in the nuts and you'll smile at me and like it.
Oh, nice!
All right, Tuesday night, March the 6th, here All Night Long Wrestling Podcast here in New York City. So tonight we have a very special guest with us. Once again, we have Amber Nova from the independent wrestling scene. Amber, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for the introduction.
No problem. So we just wanted to get started, talk about a few different things. I know we were doing some research on you, obviously before the show, and we were looking at your bio, some of your background, your experience with wrestling, and we saw that you were an EMT before you became a pro wrestler. Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
So how did you get into being an EMT and then I guess ultimately decide to transition from that into being a pro wrestler?
So I watched wrestling since I was younger, started with my dad when I was a kid, which is, I think how most people probably get into it. And I was an EMT for a few years, and then I decided I wanted to move to Orlando and pursue professional wrestling and just trying to work my craft and perfect it and get good while I'm here. And that's pretty much how it happened.
Okay, great. So you were you a fan growing up watching wrestling? Did you watch like WWF or WWE or different things where you were growing up to kind of get familiar with the sport at that time?
Yes, I did. So I was watching wrestling since I was a kid with my dad. My sisters would come to shows, or my brother, they'd go to events, but none of my siblings stuck with it the way that me and my dad follow it. So, yeah.
Okay. Were there any particular folks, I guess, that you watched, when you were a fan that kind of stuck out to you, that you were big fans of, or maybe, kind of helped inspire you to get into, becoming a wrestler and doing in-ring training?
Oh, yeah. The guys that I always say, because they really inspired me when I was a kid, was Goldberg, Sting, Booker T. Those guys were just, I don't know, they just got your blood pumping, So definitely those guys. And then a lot of the females really inspired me. Sasha Banks, Paige, a lot of the younger females that are around my age, and their bodies aren't that big. You don't have to be China to be a wrestler. So I was like, oh, wow, okay.
Judging by that list of people, is it safe to say you were more of a WCW fan growing up than you were a WWF fan?
No, I definitely watched both and was a fan of both.
All right, well, that's going to lead us to our next question. We ask everybody on the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast, and it really draws a line right between me and Joe. Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels?
Oh. I'm going to have to say I'm not too like either or with them, but I don't want to give a wrong answer here. Maybe I like them both equally. I don't think I ever was like one or the other with them.
That's fair. That's fair. I am a huge Bret Hart guy, and Joe is the Shawn Michaels guy. So that's a question we ask everybody. And so far, I'm losing on that one. Shawn Michaels is really taking over, Joe.
Well, it's just, I think it's a debate that will go on probably till the end of time. But it's just one of those things that we've been arguing about for years. So we like to ask other people's opinions, especially those folks that are in the business. So that is good to know. So I guess from there you started training. So you went down to train in Florida. Now, again, we were trying to just research who trained you. Were you trained by a few different folks? Was Santana Garrett one of them? And what was that experience like?
Yeah. When I first joined the school, she was there, and I trained with her. My trainers that really like hands-on that stuck with me from the beginning was Chasen Rance, Aaron Epic, Lince Dorado was there from the beginning before he got signed to WWE. And those are the people that were there consistently throughout my training and that trained me.
Now, Lince Dorado just signed, he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. You were training with him right up until that time?
Yes, I was.
What I wanted to ask, is that something, I know the whole Cruiserweight Classic kind of happened really quick. Is that something I had a lot of notice on before that? Or was that something they kind of just called all these guys and they were like, hey, we're starting this tournament, and that, he kind of had to up and go right there?
I think pretty much that they were starting the tournament and they were looking for just a bunch of really great cruiserweights on the independents that, haven't been signed or, I actually remember going to it, and I was there for his match the summer of 2016. I saw that. It was really awesome.
Oh, wow. So you were there live for the entire Cruiserweight Classic?
Not the entire thing. I just went to show my support for Lindsay or like a few of the guys I went one night to the tournament.
That's awesome.
One of the nights that he wrestled.
Yeah, that was a great tournament. Now, I know you said when you were training, how long were you training before you actually had your first match?
So I ended up taking like a few months off, maybe like 2 or 3 months off because I had moved down here by myself and I was kind of struggling paying rent on my own, and so I had to take some time off. But it was close to a year, so I started training May of 2015 and I had my first match April 1st of 2016. So with training, probably around like 8 months of training.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So what was it like then after you go through the training for 8 months, first time kind of getting in the ring? I know it kind of depends, right? Was it a one-on-one match, a tag match, a battle royal? Like, what was that experience like? Were you nervous? Like, how did that first match for you go?
It went really good. Actually, I think it was more than 8 months. I think I was training for about 10 months. Maybe it was close to a year though. My first match was for CWE. It was a Rise of a Queen tournament, and I wrestled Santana Garrett. And then we had a few tag matches with some of the other girls that joined the school, and then after that, I didn't really see her too much.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you got to wrestle one of your trainers in your opening match. I mean, obviously, neither of us are in the business here, but I mean, I don't know if that was better or worse, I guess, just being there with your trainer, just from a familiarity standpoint, to kind of maybe help you with the guide you through the first match that you had.
It was a really good experience. I trained with her, for a good bit, yeah, for a few first months or so.
Okay, cool. Now we were looking at some other stuff. Now, you've taken part in some like mixed gender matches, right? Where you've either teaming with or going against men.
Yes. I have done some intergender matches, and that's fun. I think I'm a kind of a little tough badass, so I like to take on the guys. Actually, I am AWA Florida Tag Team Champions with Axe Clover, and we just had an intergender tag team match for our tag belts last weekend at I Believe in Wrestling, and I wrestled my two trainers for the first time. It was actually Chase and Rance and Aaron Epic, and that was a lot of fun. That was great, and I said how great these guys were. They've been there from the beginning training me completely hands-on, and what better way to thank my trainers than by beating them. And then Axe did.
You feel a little more pressure getting in the ring with your trainers. Like, you have to, I don't want to say like bring it a little bit more, but you have to kind of show them what you've learned and how good you really are.
Yes, there's always that intimidation factor where I wanted, and I still do, I want to make them proud and show them that I'm a product of their school and of their training, and I think I do that so far.
Okay. So what would you guys, if you were to classify, your style in the ring, for people that have seen you or are going to be coming to see you either this weekend at Shine or at any event, how would you classify like your style of wrestling? Are you more of a, ground and pound? I know you said you're kind of a badass. So you're a ground and pound wrestler, are you high flying? You're kind of a mix of all different styles in the ring?
Yeah, I would say a lot of basic wrestling, traditional wrestling, but I love to incorporate a lot of high flying, lucha style. Strikes aren't really, I'm small and feisty, so strikes aren't always something I go for. But definitely traditional with lucha style. I like the high flying. I'm small. I'm probably one of the smallest females out there, so it comes to my advantage. I can do things that big girls can't.
That's very true. That's a good point. So you've been wrestling for at least since about 2 years or so, right? Since you had your first match, and I know, and Mike and I know I'm sure a lot of other people know as well, that you had made some appearances with Impact Wrestling. Now, Impact obviously has been around for a little while, but I think lately the reputation there is at least on the internet, right, is not that it's not so great, or I don't know, maybe it's a little disorganized, or they're constantly changing, people that are in charge. But what was it like for you, like working down there? I know you worked several matches with some different female wrestlers that were in Impact. So what was it like, I guess, to get that opportunity? You're on TV, and how was the overall atmosphere down at Impact Wrestling?
The atmosphere was great. It was a great experience. I was there. I've been doing TV extra work with them since April of last year, and also when it was GFW, and it was a great experience. Everyone's been extremely pleasant. Working with the girls and the opponents I've had in the ring, they've been I've been able to learn from them, and I want to say hold my own. And it's great because I'm learning how to perfect my craft, and every opportunity I get there, I'm learning more and more in-ring craft that I can get just a little bit more and more. Yeah,
that's really cool. I mean, I could tell you that just from watching Impact as a fan myself, I remember when you debuted. So, I mean, I guess, you stood out, at least for me as a fan, like just watching you and your style and your approach in the ring going against these women that, had been on Impact before. And to me, it seemed like you fit right in with them. So I guess
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So it sounds like a really, really cool, experience to be down there. And I guess to be on TV. I mean, Mike and I have sat front row at events, and that's the closest we've been to getting on TV. So
Usually my beard stands out in the front row, and I always see myself. So I have to say. I wanted to ask you, how did you get to Impact? I know, you're working in Florida. When did the Impact call come, and how did they find you?
So, the Impact call came in last April from Sanjay Dutt. He was contacting the Team Vision Dojo and my trainers and some guys there, and was like, "Hey, we need some girls. Do you guys know any local good talent?" And they were like, and they suggested me, and I think, from what I've heard from people, and I've been grateful to have the opportunity to work with Gail Kim as my agent, and they've given me great feedback. And they also wrote like an article on Impact's website that they keep bringing me back, obviously, because I'm doing good and I can prove that I can hang. So it was really nice, and I really appreciated it.
That's awesome. And for me too, I feel like Impact, they always had the focus on their knockouts division, and they always took women's wrestling, even when WWE wasn't doing it and they were having all those, ridiculous gimmick matches. Impact Wrestling always had, a great knockouts division. They had Gail Kim, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne, and even back in the day, they had like Mickey Knuckles, and they were always great matches. So Impact, I feel like, as much flack as they get on the, on the internets, they always did really well by the women's division, the knockout division. Now, this weekend you're going to be at Shine. Is the Impact door, is that closed right now, or is that something kind of on a basis where they call you when they're doing tapings? How does that work?
Yes. So I'm not signed, contracted talent. However, I've been doing extra work for them, and they bring me in as they need me, or when they're filming in Orlando at Universal Studios. So yeah, it's like an on-call basis.
Gotcha. And now, being part of that, I know Impact, they do like 5 nights in a row tapings, and they'll tape for like almost like a year at a time. Do you find that something like that is a little bit more difficult to deal with? Where would you prefer like the weekly shows that you take part of, or would you prefer to do the tapings all in one shot?
I guess whatever works best for them, as long as my body can hold up, as many power bombs as I've taken so far on this show, in my matches. Go for her Karana, and then the girls are kind of bigger than me, and they do. But no, I mean, it doesn't affect me, and it's as long as I can keep up, that's all that matters.
Gotcha. And they definitely have some bigger girls over there, in Impact. I know Sienna, I've got a chance to watch her wrestle a couple of times. She's she's a big girl too, and a lot of fun to watch. Now, let's get to this weekend. You're going to be at Shine 49. I will be there. Joe will be there. It's going to be our first show. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
I also, we're sitting front row too. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. I just jumped into the world of smart TV. So now I've got the WWN app. I'm going to be able to catch up on previous Shine shows as well as everything else on a Full Impact Pro and things like that. So as somebody who is going to be attending Shine for the first time, like I'm sure many other people are, what can we expect?
Expect these girls to shine, because that is what these women do. And I just had my first, like my debut with Shine Wrestling, and I said it to other people, and I said it to everyone there, I'm looking to really get under the hood with Shine Wrestling, and there's a belt with my name on it. So I have a goal there, and that's my goal, to put it kind of nonchalant. But the women there are incredible, and I'm looking forward to my future opponents and who I get to learn from and test myself out in the ring with them.
Now, I know a lot of women before from Shine have gone on to, WWE, and a lot of people seem to think that's the end all be all and, kind of the end game. But I think with the way professional wrestling is right now, there are so many other avenues for professional wrestlers like yourself to make a really good income. And it doesn't always have to be the WWE. Is that someplace that you see yourself? Is that your end game? Or are you looking to really make the name for yourself and shine and stay there?
So WWE absolutely is my main goal, and that's the whole reason I even liked wrestling, was that company and what it's become and what the future of that company could be. So WWE is my main goal. However, working for Impact, working for Shine, this is all great and incredible, and I want to keep making a name for myself in these companies as well, and see where life takes me.
And I believe Shine,
enjoy the ride.
Well, of course, that's the only way to do it. You got to live in the now, right? And I believe Shine's really good about that, where they let anybody on, their wrestlers under contract wrestle in other places, correct?
Yes.
That's good. I mean, I know Ring of Honor is doing a Women of Honor tournament right now, and there are a lot of great women in there too. So,
definitely something on my to-do list. Yes, definitely on my to-do list. I'm trying to get in there.
That's awesome. As a fan, I mean, I'm so happy to see Ring of Honor doing that, and it's just another avenue for legitimate women's wrestlers to make a name for themselves. And I think that would be great to see you over there as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet you guys in New York. This is gonna be great. You should make some Amber Nova posters.
I absolutely will, and I want to apologize for my German Shepherd who's trying to get in the video.
Oh, it's so cute though.
He's the big doofus. You want to say hi? Look, he's on TV.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
My mom has a Saint Bernard, so I love big dogs. And I wanted to mention, when you guys started playing the All Night Long song, funny story. It was like I was singing the all night long, all night, and I'm getting into it, and I'm driving, and I'm calling one of my friends, and then they pick up and they don't say anything and just let me carry on for like 30 seconds or something.
Lionel Richie was a stud in the 80s, and this song holds up to today.
So.
Hey, I'm all about classic tunes. Absolutely. Classic cars, classic tunes. That's what I was raised on.
I mean, that's the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. We soak in the 80s movies, 80s music, 80s wrestling. We're all about it here.
I love it.
Joe, welcome back, buddy.
Oh, thanks, pal. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's great. We did one of these the other day in a hurricane, no problem. But I'm sitting here in perfect weather, and my internet dropped out, so that's everything's awesome. So so I don't know if you guys already talked about your opponent on Saturday night. At Shine 49. From what I saw on Shine's website, it's ACR, Amanda Carolina Rodriguez. Now, have you worked with her before?
I have. I've had one match with her before, and that was at the Team Vision Dojo. I believe it was an I Believe in Wrestling show.
Okay. So you've worked with her once before.
But that was, I want to say that was close to maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So right at the beginning of your in-ring career.
Yes.
Okay, so what can fans either are going to be there or watching on Saturday night for Shine 49? What can they expect to see from you in the ring against ACR?
I have so much respect for her. She's been in the business a lot longer than I have. But like I've said, and I'll say it again, anyone that steps in the ring with Amber Nova is going to get a tune-up.
Nice.
I don't carry that wrench for nothing.
That is awesome. I believe you are the daughter of a mechanic, correct?
Yes, I am. So
you grew up around cars.
Yes.
I'm picturing Marissa Tomei, my cousin Vinny. How far off am I?
Pretty far. I drive a '73 Chevy Nova. Oh, he likes it too.
Yeah, they're big fans. I think mom's home right now is what the case is. My fiance's just walking in, so they're pretty happy.
Aw. Yeah, so I drive a 73 Chevy Nova. My dad, my mom, they've had 62 Novas. My mom has a 62. My dad just sold his 62 Nova. He's restoring a 69 SS Chevelle. My brother has a 76 Chevy Malibu. We're Chevy people, and we like classic cars. My dad taught me how to change my oil and listen to Bob Seger while doing it, and that's about it. That's so, and I come from the garage because literally, on Hilton Head Island, like we just have a garage full of Novas. So that's where I'm from the garage.
There you go. Maybe Mike, maybe we can get Amber to help you fix your car. Is that an option?
If I could bring it to La Boom on Saturday, Joe, I would.
Okay.
What do you drive?
Well, I drive a 2012 Hyundai Tucson. However,
oh my God, I was gonna joke and say Honda.
No, Hyundai.
They're great on gas, and those are great cars. My Nova is not good on gas.
No, you probably get about 3.5 miles to the gallon, I would assume. But let me ask you, have you ever been to Long Island?
No, I have not.
Okay, picture the worst traffic you've ever been in Florida, and that's like midday Long Island. It's absolutely the worst. So I need something that's good on gas and gets me from point A to point B.
I totally understand.
But I'm currently driving my mother-in-law's 03 Lincoln LS. I kind of look like a mid-90s rapper driving that thing.
I don't know many mid-90s rappers that have that look like you, buddy, but it's okay. Maybe it's yeah, that's right. You can think about that for a little while. So Amber, I guess just so we can share it with everybody, where can everybody find you on the internet, on Twitter, Instagram? Where can everybody find you, with fans out there?
You can search Amber Nova, YouTube, and probably on Google it'll come up like some videos. It's Nova Girl 73 on Instagram. Twitter is Nova _ Girl 1973, and Facebook Amber Nova. That's about it.
Now I think we have a Pro Wrestling Tees page as well. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
ProWrestlingTees.com/ yeah. ProWrestlingTees.com/ Amber Nova. I was checking out some of those designs before we got on as well.
Yes, I just got a new T-shirt, so I have 3 on there.
Well, we're going to be sure to pick one up on Saturday at Shine 49. Shine 49 is going down this Saturday, La Boom. I believe bell time is 7 p.m. sharp. I'm looking forward to making our first appearance at Shine, Joe.
So am I, buddy. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be front row, Amber. Just so you know, I don't know if Mike mentioned that already. So we're gonna be sitting there front row, cheering you on and enjoying the show.
So I'm looking forward to meeting you guys and bring posters.
I'm very creative. I will absolutely bring a poster. That's true. I absolutely will.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. This was great. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thank you very much, Andrew. We appreciate your time.